Hi, welcome to Simply Scrapping. Narelle here. Today I'm doing a layout for the weekend challenge that we just had over at the Girls Down Under Facebook group. I set the challenge and this is the inspiration that everyone had to use. And what I'm doing today is photos of my cat who decided to lay on these dolls my daughter had set up and wrapped up in a blanket. And it was so cute. My heading is going to be the chipboard that I just showed there before, and I have a heap of scraps here, and I'm going to use this scalloped edge to make strips of the scalloped paper to use as the backing on my backdrop to my photos. I'm also going to be using some stamps and some cat ephemera from Uniquely Creative. Now, the scallops worked out so much better than I could have hoped for. I had thought of just getting all the different scraps that I had in different sizes and making them work on the background, and then quickly realized that, well, I think they need to be the full length of the background because I wasn't sure where I was going to put the photos, whether they're going to be bumped up next to each other or a gap in between or anything like that. So after I went through this pile of scraps, and that was the other criteria for the layout they had to do, besides use the card as inspiration, they also had to I challenged them to use scraps and only scraps on their layout. So I went through my scrap bags, or one of my scrap bags, I've got 3, and pulled out all the pink and purple scraps that I thought might work together. And the reason I went pink and purple is because a little crocheted blanket that my daughter had put over her dolls was actually pink and purple, and my mum had crocheted that for her. So it was a really cute little blanket, and she really loved it, so that's why I went pink and purple, because the blanket is pink and purple. So here I was deciding, do I want to use this little scrap? No, they need to be bigger scraps. So I measured and roughly worked out that my strips had to be 1.5 inches wide so that I could get a scalloped edge as well as enough to tuck them under each other, because I wanted to have them layered. So here I am just working out what I wanted where, so what colours I wanted. I know I wanted them alternating, so pink, purple, and here I am working out the patterns and what is going where, basically. I do have them quite close together here, and later I realised that I needed to cover more of the page, so when I finally glue them down, I make sure that they are a little bit wider, because you can see that third one down there is quite narrow. So I do make sure I have them wider. I mean, I could have cut more strips, but I was being lazy, if the truth be told. And yeah, so I stuck with them and I made it work. And I think it works in the end because I don't have too big a gap of white top and bottom when the layout is done. So my heading is Love My Cat. Here I'm just trimming the end of all the pieces because that scalloped piece didn't go the full 12 inches, and when I trimmed them off, I didn't do it thinking greatly about it. I just sort of cut them, and there was a really weird angle on the right hand side from the scallop, so I thought, oh, I need to neaten that up, and I just trimmed them straight, which meant now they definitely don't reach the full 12 inches, but it's okay because I pretty well have them even across the page, as even as I can. But anyway, so now I'm just making sure that I have them in the arrangement that I like and the spacing that I want. And I think from here, when I actually go to glue them down, I'm pretty sure I actually put them a little bit further apart as well to make sure they cover up more of the page. And now I'm just sort of, okay, where do I want the photos? I think I want the photos there. I want the heading there. And then I will start with choosing my embellishments. And again, I was being lazy here and went, there was 2 cute cats on top. They will do. They looked like my cat. My cat's a rag doll. And these 2 looked like rag dolls, and they were just sitting on top. I went, yep, that works. I'm not going to bother going through the whole packet looking for something else, something better. They will do. I had thought of using 2 of these stamps out of here. One was a stamp on a stem, like a flower on a stem, and then quickly realised I don't think that really goes with the daisy that I really wanted to use. So I end up not using that. Alright, so now I need to do some treatment to these chipboard pieces. That's going to be my title. And I want to change the colour of them and make them shiny. So I'm just smushing them into my ink pad, and had no idea they were going to go as dark as they did. I don't know what I was thinking, but they went a lot darker than I wanted them to be. But I made it work in the end. So now I am just smushing it, technical term here, smushing it into my Versamark ink pad so that I can put the clear embossing powder on it and emboss it. And I end up doing each of them twice because this clear embossing powder I have is years old. It has to be 10 years or more old. I do have newer stuff, but I'm trying to use up the old stuff first. And it didn't quite cover like I wanted it to. It was a bit that wasn't shiny and wasn't happy with it, so I did it twice in the end for both pieces. And just be careful because this is chipboard, so this is wood, sort of, you know, made from a mix of probably compacted paper or something, and it can be flammable if you get it too hot. And I didn't realize at one stage that, I mean, I didn't burn it, but it was really hot when I picked it up. So I decided on these daisies as my other embellishments besides the cats. And I just had these white scraps of paper on or cardstock on my desk, and I just stamped out as many daisies as would fit on them, knowing full well I'm not going to use them all, but I've got them now for another project. And then I'm just stamping in Melon Mambo. I do a few of them in second generation stamping, where you stamp off on a scrap piece of paper before you then stamp on your image so that the ink is paler. So I stamped all those daisies. You can see I cut them out as well. You can see the lighter ones at the top. They are on the top right. They are the second generation ones that are sitting on top. So I have a heap of daisies. I don't end up using them all, obviously. I also die cut some leaves, those green leaves, to go with the flowers. I didn't like the leaves that are in that flower set. I wanted something different, so I went to my go-to at the moment, which is the Changing Leaves set from Stampin' Up, and I love the lacy type of leaves they have in that packet, so I cut them out. And then the red, because my heading came out so much darker and it actually looks like a dark red in real life, I thought I need to bring that colour into my layout as well. So I ended up cutting some sprigs in a really dark red, or not really dark, but a dark red cardstock, and added them to the embellishment clusters as well to tie in the red in that heading. So I'm just playing around with the placement here, and I think when I come to glue everything on, I change that bottom cluster because I realise I probably have too much there. I think I change it. I'm not sure now. No, I did have before lots more flowers down there and then part it back. And I have to keep remembering less is more sometimes because I just want to put everything on a page. So here I'm just adding some twine. If you remember back to the card I showed as inspiration, it had in it some twine tied around the card front. So I thought, well, I'll bring that into the layout as well. And plus cats play with twine and ribbon and things. So that's why this is sort of working as well, having the twine. So I just put a bit of double-sided tape to the back of the cats, and then got the middle of the twine, my circles, and stuck that to the double-sided tape on the back of the cats, and then used dimensionals, top and bottom of the cat, to raise them off the clusters just a little bit. So now I'm going to go away and glue everything in place, putting the last finishing touch on. And I think I also add the other side of the heading. I think I add another flower there when I come back after everything is glued on. And then I decide on embellishments. So I think now I'm going to glue everything on. Am I? I'm thinking, what do I want to change? No, right, yeah, that's it. I'm going to glue everything on. And I always change things when I glue it on. like I'll add or subtract. And you can see next to the heading at the top that I added an extra flower and a leaf and a twig just to carry the eye down a little bit up the top there. And then I found these embellishments and thought they're perfect, little purple like crystal flower gem things, and thought I could put them in the middle of my flowers, put one on, and realised that the middle of the flower, the stamped image, it had like black things in there to represent the middle of the flowers, and the little purple crystal was getting lost on them. So I just dug out a sponge dauber that already had pink on it, and I just smooshed it into the middle of the flowers and coloured the centre of the flowers. And then the crystal stood out a little bit more. You can't see it much here, but in the close-ups I'm hoping you'll see it. And I'm counting to make sure I have enough. So I don't want to commit and then find I don't have enough. So we are nearly done with this layout. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notify bell so you know when my next video is coming out. And I also have a Patreon too, if you want to jump over there. It's free to join. All videos that I'll be posting on YouTube, I'll also be posting over there. There's also a paid membership version which will have more in-depth tutorials and series on things. And I put the first couple of videos up. One is a technique about gold edges, and the other is a scrapbook guide which has like a 16-page PDF on how to create 6 double-page layouts with 3 pieces of paper and an ephemera pack. So jump over there and support me over there if you can. Alright, so that is it. We are done. There will be close-ups following. Thank you so much for watching. Have a scrap happy day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.